Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and welcome to the Gems of War Guild Wars, week 72, day 6, and of course it is a red day, final day of our Guild War this week. So, next week, or tomorrow I should say, in several hours from now, we're going to be having our first ever new event of version 4.8. It is a new event specifically added in this most recent version. It's going to be replacing out invasions. So basically what's going to be happening next week is on Monday, we'll be having a brand new event that we've never had before. It's basically an adaptive event that they can change up every single month when it ends up happening. So what it is tomorrow will not be what it is every single month. It'll be quite a bit different, and from month to month it can vastly change what the objective is for the actual event, and more so than any of the other events we've ever had prior. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. This also means every single time on the Monday video, whenever these come around, including tomorrow, we'll need to go in depth into what the game mode actually is, because even though I'll explain it in depth tomorrow, to next month it'll be completely different. It'll still be somewhat themed similarly, like how the map works on it and the reward system and the cost for it and all that, and the fact that your main reward is getting a bunch of epic medals of seasons. However, the overall take is it's going to be your main objective is going to be different every single time, so we'll need to explain that. Plus the team competitions will be vastly different, mostly because unlike most game modes that only have a single restriction, this will often have a double restriction. So for example, a troop type and a troop in a kingdom, as well as something like a double roll typing and any other of number things. It also has an interesting mechanic in that affixes and affixes and traits can be added on top of them. So basically affixes, as in those things that get added onto your ability, kind of like what weapons have. So it ends up giving an additional benefit to it, kind of like doing 2 mana to all of a certain color, 1 mana to all allies, doing entangle to first enemy. One interesting thing about affixes is they actually cannot be stunned. If these troops end up getting additional traits beyond their 3, those can be stunned. However, affixes cannot be stunned if it's specifically on their ability. And this will be the first game mode that actually ends up utilizing them. Will be a little bit easier to show once we have the thing available tomorrow. But yeah, we will be going on over it very in depth then. But for now, we'll just go over to troops. Also, thank you, Jarrett, for supporting the channel. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Helps out a lot. Also, let me go say hello to everyone. Hello, ArmyXTube. Hello, Bill Warhammer. Hello, Zeddicus. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, David. Hello, Jefferson. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Zex. Hello, Dinosuit Girl. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, ArmyXTube. Hello, Zeddicus again. Oh, here said hi. And hello, everyone else who I might not have said hi to. And all the lurking people. Hello, everyone. Also, that reminds me, if anyone's interested in joining a guild, we did recently free up 1 spot. So if anyone can do 1 million+ gold per week, as well as just participate in endgame related, guild related events, we do have a spot open. So just let me know, and we can get you in. And what was the other thing I wanted to go mention? Oh yeah. And because of this new game mode, obviously it's replacing invasions. So this weekend will be our first ever invasion event. Well, obviously not our first ever invasion event, but our first invasion event that's specifically over a weekend. One kind of interesting thing about this is this will be the first ever weekend event that is guild-wide. Obviously, every prior guild event that we've ever had has been a week long. However, this will be the first one that is only 3 days long, going from the normal time, a Friday reset, all the way until Monday reset, as all weekend events do. But do keep in mind, they will be scaling back how much you need to do. Obviously, you'll have to do a lot less, given that it's only 3 days rather than 7. You also get more value for the gems that you spend on it. However, it is likely that you're still going to have to spend some amount of gems on it. Also, what we end up getting for a reward, we don't fully know yet. It's probably going to be a new weapon. Actually, I didn't even double check that. I probably should. I'm not sure if we're getting a new weapon this Friday. There's an easy way to check, though. But anyways, let's get into spoilers, and then we can go check that as well. But anyways, as far as the troop that's going to be within the glory drop table next week is this thing. It gets to create 8 red gems boosted by orc allies and enemies at a 1-to-1 boost ratio, and then gives 1 attack to all allies. So this is not going to be too good for the most part. That means on average, if you're using a pure orc team, it's going to be able to get a 12 gem spawn. However, most enemies will not be using an orc, and assuming that they're not using an orc, this thing caps out at a max of 12 red, which for 12 mana cost is not exceptionally good. And then it gets to give a little bit of attack to all allies. That's also not going to be that good. It just seems rather underwhelming. and for the most part doesn't seem like it's really going to be used. It has no amount of mana start. It does have Bloodlust, so it has that going for it, but other than that, it just seems very, very underwhelming, especially its coloration, green-blue. There are so many other things already good underneath green-blue that I don't foresee this ever being viable, and is likely going to be dead content. However, with that being said, since there are quite a few good green-blues, it is worth considering buying this thing up, as you'll be able to buy epic arcanes for green-blue cheaper than you ever would be able to. They're only 200 glory each, 400 per pack, but there's 2 in each. So if you've been wanting to stock up on this to upgrade things like Web Spinner and any of the other good troops end up utilizing it, definitely worth considering. Web Spinner is probably one of the highest priorities, though, I would say. Triple damage on it is insanely valuable. Still one of the strongest troops in the game ever since they buffed it about a year ago. But yeah, get him for his trait stone. You don't really get him for the troop, though. But of course, you still need it for completionist purposes. Also, why is it not letting me... Wait, did I bring up the same thing twice? Fail! I did not mean to bring the same image up twice. Mistakes were made. Okay, let's go back to the thing, because I think I got rid of both of them, because I opened them in a new tab thing. 1 second. Let me go back to the forum and get to the weapon. Though we're going to go into the other weapons page anyway, so I guess we could show it from there. But let me go bring up the actual weapons, since I brought up the troop twice. What a gigantic fail. Let's see. Where's the weapon? Okay, weapon! Here's the weapon. So... what does the weapon do? It ends up enraging an ally and gives 10 attack to them, and then it's boosted by orc allies at a... I actually don't know boost ratio off the top of my head. Let's see. I don't think we need anything here. This was just, I was just checking to see what his boost ratio was, which is 1 to 1, and the fact that we're not getting anything this Friday. However, there's 2 things I want to go check under weapons. One is, are we getting a Friday weapon? Which apparently we are? No, what day is that? We are. Yeah, that's the 20th. Interesting. Also, why is the one that's coming out tomorrow not here? Strange. Let's see. Let's click show all weapons. Let's go find this thing. String of teeth. So let's go find string of teeth real quick. String of teeth. So its boost ratio is only 1 to 1. Why are they doing such bad boost ratios? I was expecting that to be a bit higher than that. But yeah, it enrages an ally. Gives them magic divided by 2 + 1 attack. Boosted by orc allies, then summons an orc. That is rather underwhelming. Though it does have deadly. If I'm not mistaken, deadly is... Oh, never mind. Does just give all allies 2 mana. Actually, is that new? I thought deadly was the 20% instant kill thing. I don't recall a trait that actually gives 2 mana to all allies. That's interesting. It's actually not that bad. All these other ones we've seen before, though. But, yeah, have we seen that before? I'm not sure 100% certain. Still not good nonetheless. 2 mana to all allies. Pretty cool. And that includes yourself as well. Obviously on this particular weapon, not really going to be anything over the top, but on some weapons in the future, that could potentially be good. But anyways, we're also getting a new weapon on Friday. This will be coming in through invasions. It'll be the only new thing coming in through invasions, as I believe the invasion troop itself is a repeat, which is one of the reasons why they even moved it to weekends, is now they're just going to constantly be repeating for the most part. But as far as what it does, the one that we're getting this Friday, is a deal, and this will cost 250 gems, same amount as always. They're not actually making the packs cheaper, but for 250 gems to get the entirety of the event done, not that bad. If every person in your guild buys up to the weapon and spends that 250 gems, you'll easily be able to get the event done in the new format. So the amount of resources you would save from having to go out of your way to craft this is probably worth it. Also, speaking of that, worth mentioning, you can craft Earth's Fury next week, by the way. It is a Groshnok week, and Earth's Fury is from Groshnok. It's probably the most relevant thing you can craft next week. Highly, highly advised, as it's a great invasion weapon, which will be this Friday. And it's just a great weapon in general to have around, as it's one of the best full team attack buffs in the game. Anyways, as far as what this weapon does, it's a Bone Scrapper. It deals magic +7 damage to an enemy. Boosted by orc allies again, but luckily at 6 times. Oh, this is just the orc version of the double weapon. It's another one of those weapons, which is kind of to be expected. But yeah, it's just the orc version of the double mana accumulation thing. They've been adding this for basically every typing in the entire game. And this is just obviously for orc, and it creates green-red. I'm not sure how good greens would really be for orcs, but red is definitely extremely vital to orcs. And it ends up using blue-brown as far as its coloration. And as far as its things, it has Bone Storm, which I guess is okay. Red Storm would be a bit better. 5 damage to the last enemy. Enraged Self, which is to be expected given the mechanics of this kingdom, or of orcs in general, and Gain 2 attack. So overall, probably not going to be used much. However, its biggest synergy is probably going to be with Groshnok himself. That gives 50% mana start to all orcs, and then kind of building around there. But overall, orcs are a rather underwhelming hero of troop type. I'm not sure if you'd really consider them the absolute worst in the game, but they're pretty far down there. They're probably within like the bottom 3 typings in the entire game, or maybe not that low, because they do have half mana start and some enraged skulls. But they're like bottom 3, bottom 5, somewhere's in there. Definitely bottom 5 for sure, as far as troop types are concerned in the game. So overall, this weapon's probably not going to be that good, but it'll help get your guild get the invasion event done. Because you do have to keep in mind some people might not be around on weekends, so you kind of have to coordinate that with your guild or figure out what you're going to do. Because yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. It's the first ever weekend event, so you only have 3 days rather than a week. And it is guild-wide, so you can't just solo it. It's not like something like Bounty, where you could just finish out in a few hours, be good to go. You might be able to get your battles done in a few hours, but of course you need everyone else in your game coordinating, or in your guild coordinating in order to get it fully done. Though luckily, one nice thing about invasions is you do get a decent amount of its reward from just your solo contribution. I believe you get 65 gems and a random orb just from doing up to the 4 battles. So you do get a pretty hefty amount, more so than something like raids. Like if raids, you just did the amount of battles of yours, you wouldn't get nearly as much. But invasions gives a pretty hefty amount, even if your guild did almost nothing. But obviously, you'd still want to aim for all rewards if your guild normally aims for all rewards. But anyways, that's pretty much everything with next week. And obviously, the 2 most noteworthy is we'll get a brand new event tomorrow, which I can't really go over too much in depth right now, just because it's kind of hard to, given that it changes every single time, and we'd actually have to play it a little bit to really get a good feel for it, and this was not the one in the beta. They did technically show it on stream, but we weren't really able to see too much about it when they did show it on stream. But again, we'll just go over it tomorrow in depth, kind of like the strategy with it, teams for it, obviously, and stuff like that. And of course, I'll be going over invasion teams for Friday on the Monday event video. That will be applicable for any weekend event, as we normally do. I guess I don't normally do it for Bounty Hunter, but that's mostly because the troops don't exist in the game. For something like invasions, the troops will already exist in the game, including the invasion troop itself. So it's easier to actually show what the team is, because all the components for it will actually exist. Unlike things like Bounty Hunter, where the main component they have to use, the Bounty Captain itself, does not exist until Friday. However, the Bounty Captain that would use should already exist. It's for orcs. So if I go type in, for example, the orc typing, we should have one for, we should have an invasion troop here. So if we go to, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the troop type of orc. And if we type in the, oh gosh, what is it? Tower. We should see one, yep. And this will be the guy that will be available, that you would be using mostly for this Friday. So if you already have Vorkarn maxed, then you're good to go. And if you don't, he will be an event key drop table next week. Unlike with past invasions and stuff, where you would have to buy it up through the event, you'll still be able to buy it up through the event if you happen to have a low amount of copies. However, if you already have a maxed, or if you want to go use event keys to go get it, you can now. So unlike before, where you weren't able to go use event keys on the immediate week of the invasions, you will be able to now. Because all these troops exist already. So as you can see, we already have them specifically, already at Mythic. But even if you don't, you can get them in event key drop table all week. You can get them tomorrow, you can get them Tuesday, you can get them the Friday of the invasion. So you do have all week through event keys, if you don't already have them, to get some more copies if you don't want to spend gems for it instead, if you have a reserve of spare event keys. I wouldn't really advise that too much, though. Groshnok has a relatively bad drop table, but still worth considering nonetheless. Other than that, it just deals damage to an enemy, and if they're a tower, it deals 3 times to 5 times damage. Based on Ascension, gain 4 attack, pretty standard invasion troop. Has a little bit of skull reduction, so you would generally use in first slot. And given that we have multiple, you can double, you can put 2 of them up front. So you can do them in the first slot, do them in the second slot, and then put 2 supporting troops behind it. Do keep in mind, though, your weapon for the... oh, wait, never mind. That's not applicable to Friday. Never mind. That is applicable for tomorrow, though. Tomorrow's restriction will be for Groshnok. And one interesting thing about that restriction is with this new game mode that's been added to the game every single month that we'll be having, the restriction does apply to your weapon. So the restriction tomorrow is Groshnok. And for that, our weapon will actually be restricted too. So the only 9 weapons you can use on Hero, if you're going to use Hero, which I do advise using Hero, are these 9. Obviously, you have access to Mang, so you could just solo Mang. However, keep in mind that a lot of upcoming events, well, with this first one we can, but a lot of the upcoming events related to this new game mode that's happening every month will not be able to use Mang or other good options, like obviously no Mountain Crusher here, no Essence of Evil. There's quite a few really good options that aren't. Luckily, we did get lucky, and one of the best options in the entire game, Mang, is available. However, a lot of these upcoming events will not have access to these kind of weapons, like these armor tier weapons. You could easily get one that has like absolutely nothing good, like let's just say Kakarot, for example. Like what would you use for a weapon here? Like there is no good weapons pretty much, except maybe Staff of Madness, but that's an old event weapon. I think this one might be okay. You could synergize with some Mystics. Plus we might get a new weapon that week. But still, it'd be very limited if this was something like the actual restriction for the event. So do be mindful of that, as it might be so restrictive to a point that it might not even make hero viable some weeks. Though that is not applicable to this event week, because it will be very, very useful to use Mang, obviously. But anyways, let's get into Guild War already. I mostly just wanted to explain all that. And of course, we'll be explaining it way more in depth tomorrow once we can actually show it live in-game. But anyways, how's Guild War doing? Where are we ranked? We are ranked right in the middle of our bracket. It's not too bad. We'll take it. And yeah, let's keep going. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to like top 3, but if I believe we get the rest of our battles, then we'll be able to. As I mentioned, we are still looking for one more player. So if anyone could do 1 million plus gold, do let me know. And if you want to join in on the guild. I didn't double check to see if anyone mentioned anything earlier on that. I don't think anyone did. But if you did, let me know. Because we're still trying to recruit one more person. And I don't believe we have anyone for it. Let's see. If someone is short 10 points on a Guild War Week score, does that mean their place in Guild is on jeopardy? No, though ideally I would want people doing way more than that. Ideally, I would almost want to have a minimum of 50,000, honestly. I know, obviously, you can't, like, enforce that every single time, as is easy to have a couple bad days and then get under 50,000. I think we hit under 50,000 a couple times. But generally speaking, you should be aiming to hit at least 50,000 this late in the game. And obviously, a lot of the guild is hitting under that. But yeah, hitting under 40,000, ideally, I would eventually want to kick if that becomes a reoccurring thing. Like, if it's only like an occasional thing, I wouldn't mind. But some of them reoccurs a lot. And it might just be due to a lack of having more options. However, as they get more options over time, it might be better. But it can also get completely obliterated by a really bad Guild War day. Like, most of this is from just a really bad third day. On that one particular one. But, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say I would kick immediately on that. Though it is, I don't know. We would either need to help them to do better or something. Because scoring under 40,000 is, it can make us go down. As though the leaderboard for this isn't really as important. But if you're not doing as good in that, that also means you're likely not doing as good in farming things. But, I don't know. It's not like an automatic kick kind of thing. But it is something that would want to be addressed in some way. But it can also just be from a lack of options. Some people who might still lack a few of the better mythics for Guild Wars. Like, they might have some mythics, but they might be lacking some of the Guild War mythics. So, I don't know. It just depends on the situation, really, more so than anything. But anyways, let's go get into Guild Wars. So, obviously, we still got our last battle. We won every single day so far, except for the first day. And apparently, we're also probably going to lose this last day, oddly enough, against the Phoenix, which is currently 2 positions above us. As far as our defend teams today, I believe it did the best today than any other day. We are currently 2-5, which is the only day where it has won more than once. And I was even almost considering replacing this team. Yeah, oddly enough, it had the highest win rate of all week, so go figure. I wasn't like figuring like replace. I don't know. I feel like we should update it some, but it still works pretty good apparently, because technically best win rate of any team this week. I'm actually really surprised Yagoi Queen of Tanya did 0 yesterday. I'm particularly surprised about that. Maybe people are just getting used to countering that. That's the issue that happens with some of them too. Some days just have such a popular option like that people get so used to countering it that they get better at playing against the team, even if it's a good team for it. But anyways, Red Guild War. Let's go get our Guild War out. So Sunspear got unnerfed in time for Red Guild War. So yay! The Sunspear nerf technically had no effect on Sunspear. Oddly enough, or for this Red Guild War. So I think we'll keep it as is. Not sure if we really need to revamp anything. I currently have it set to 20% magic into 8 life, which honestly is exactly what I want. 16 life. 16 life helps keep our team alive, and it gives Yagoi boost ratio. So I think we're just going to stick with that, as it helps keep Ragnargord up, and can kind of just go from there, and should be fine. We get a starting freeze as well as a starting entangle, and just need to go get a nice Ragnargord down and go from there. And don't think we need to revamp anything. So let's just get into it and hope things go well. Any predictions for the upcoming Soulforge troops? We don't really have any way to predict it. We know what won't be in there, but the drop table of what will be in there is so large that we can't really even make much prediction. I think there's still like 20-something troops that can be in drop table next week. So a little hard to make a prediction on that, given how random that will be. Okay, well, we'll keep taking extra turns if he's going to keep giving us extra turns. Let's see, do we have enough red there? Now we do. So we'll go throw that down. Do we have Yagway? Yes, we do. Gosh, that loop. That is such an optimal Yagway Queen of Tanya. That's what we want to see every battle. This team would actually score for 1,600 if it could do that every single time. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that high consistency. Okay, here we go. Here's the team I actually use on my defend. So let's see how hard this thing actually is. So far, my version of this went 2-5. So let's see how badly it destroys us today. It is pretty strong for this Guild War day. As long as we get a good start, we should be okay. As long as he doesn't get like a really big cast on this, I think we'll be fine. So I'll take that over for now. Go get a Ragnagor down. Do it for, or yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. We have to do based on the color on the board, which is even better because we get to choose what it is. Perfect. I think I'll go for Dawnbringer here just because we don't have Yagway alignment. Hold up. Let me take that first. Still doesn't give us Yagway alignment, nor do we have a drop. So I think we let him have a skull and just see what happens from there. So we're going to barrier up. He's going to take a 0 damage skull. Oh no, he's still got some damage because of the thing. Because of the Doom Skull. But I'll go for Yagway there. That kills out the Glaceon, which is extremely important. We'll get that down. Yagway. Gosh, 2 perfect Yagway Queen of Tanya battles. Let's see 3 more of those. That is really smooth. But yeah, Yagway Queen of Tanya is still one of the best combos in the game. It has been for a while now. Oh no, I should have switched to Frost Mage. He's using the Infinite Loop team. Hopefully we can get rolling before he gets going, because this will be problematic otherwise. Oh, and we're frozen. That's not good. How do we go about this? Probably just rush Ragnagor and let him poke us. He's entangled anyways. So let him get skull distracted. Let's hopefully get lucky here. What do we even want to aim on? I can magically do it on Brown to cycle his ability some, if we can. You need to unentangle right now. That'd be great. We'll take that for now. Extra turn. Oh yeah, I forgot. Duh. We're frozen. Fail. But this should get us rolling at least. So we'll do that. Get our Yagway going. Hopefully we have alignment here. And this should be a win, hopefully. So we'll do that. Get a Queen to Tanya. Yagway, I wish you had alignment right now so badly. Do we skull or do we Yagway? I think I actually skull here rather than Yagwaying it. Actually, we can even Dawnbringer too. Hold up. We can do that. Let him get skull distract. Oh, he didn't go for the skull distract. At least not immediately. Luckily, his ability didn't do an explosion. So we can go for Yagway here. We'll give him red. However, he only has 1 troop left. But I also don't want to feed him mana if we can avoid it. But I also don't want him infinitely looping off everything else, so I think we're going to go the safe method. This will probably lower our score some by giving him a bunch of mana. But I think it's worth it just to make sure he doesn't infinitely loop us, which is better than losing. It's better to take the safe route right there and lose a little bit of points than to let him infinitely loop with goblins. Okay, how do we go about this? I think we just explode it all and just hope we get lucky here. Exactly so, and dead. There we go. Okay, that could have gone a little smoother, but for not running freeze against a infinite goblin loop team, I'll take it. Okay, here we have Yagway Queen of Tanya. A little bit weird seeing this on Red Day, but obviously the team is still good. Wouldn't really advise that using for Red Day defend, but it's not a bad team nonetheless. Oh, you would freeze that. What do we do here? Well, I was going to take yellow to red. Apparently at this point I just take red surge, or hope it surges. So good, it did surge at least. So we'll do that. Again, we can't really take these reds, so I'm just going to explode it all off the board and do it that way. Then we'll just Ragnagor again. Hopefully we'll be unfrozen by then. We should be by that point. Please. No, we're not unfrozen. Well, we have to go for Yagway here. However, we're not frozen on green, are we? So I'm going to go for this green first. We are frozen on red, not green, though. So we'll do that. I have to go for Yagway because I can't let him Yagway all that value, obviously. So we're going to have to waste our turn here, but still great for the impact, if nothing else. Okay, he's going to get way too much value there. Ooh, luckily Submerge coming in a bit. Okay, so we're still frozen. Luckily, Queen of Tanya is not the one that's frozen, so we can go do this. It has a Submerge of its own. I think I'm going to have to take that red. I could drop red to red, which I think I'm going to do because we get a skull out of it. I normally wouldn't do this. Obviously, we'd go for the red extra turn. However, I think we get more value doing it this way, just because we're frozen. Oh, and we get a random extra turn right there. Very nice. Okay, so we have 13 plus red. We can actually go for a free AoE there. I think we're going to do this into Dawnbringer to Yagwe because he'll scope poke us, get distracted, and then we kill him off of Yagwe. So it doesn't even matter he has Submerge there because it dies out right there. So unfortunately we lost a troop, but still overall not too bad. Could have gone a bit smoother though. But I'll take it. Okay, what do we have for final battle? What are you using here? Stop using Frost Mage! Can everyone please just stop using Frost Mage? It is so annoying, and I do not want to set Cedric just to counter a single Frost Mage. Though I guess it would also counter Fairy Fire. So right here, we're going to lose our... Oh! Yes! It hit Hero! Or Hero's insulated. A 1 in 4 chance it would hit Hero. The RNG gods are in our favor for the final battle. That's nice. Oh no, that's not nice though. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, the RNG gods. They have forsaken us. What do we grab here? Ooh, that is hard. Yagwe just Yagwe'd us. Let's see. We got reverse Yagwe'd. What do we grab? What do we grab? This is pretty much just a solo Dawnbringer fight at this point. Alright, let's take this. We just need to fight Dawnbringer at this point. Don't hit us already. Oh, it's over. Kranitania, somehow carry. This is gonna be impossible. He has we're not only are we frozen, but yeah, we lost. The reverse RNG gods. They are not in our favor. They were for 1 second, and then they took it back. Okay, we are so dead. Let's see if we can even get one kill. Nope. Rip. Yeah, I should have probably waited until we converted with Tapon. Generally, you don't want to explode on a Tapon. And the main reason for that is you don't know what the board will be like. If you can guarantee move something on starting board to make sure their Empower Convert misses, you should do that. And I probably should have double-checked that before exploding. I think the board might have been like that. Let me double-check. But if you have no way to undo it, then you just have to explode. But yeah, if you have a way to move the starting board in a way that would prevent it, you generally want to. So yeah, he would have gotten a decent amount of value. Like he still would have gotten some mana. He would have gotten 2 3s, which I wouldn't have been able to stop. However, it wouldn't have been an extra turn, which is what he ended up getting, which allowed him to double Yagwe like that. So yeah, it might have been a little bit safer not going for the explosion then. But I kind of just wanted to try for explosion into just getting him looped prior, so that we could get it done for a quicker kill. But unfortunately, that is not what happens. But I'll still take it. Yeah, I was on track for 9,500, 9,600. We scored about 8,000 with 1 def, which generally means you're on track for 9,500 plus if you get around 8,000 with a def. So, yeah, I'll take it. And that means we got 4-1 the last 3 days. We went 3 5-0s and then 3 4-1s. I'll take it. And our total score is then 52,565. Actually, who scored the highest this week? Let's see. So far, Michael, it looks like. Congrats, Michael. Let's see who got higher. Whoa, Savage! Only 1 loss. 55,781. Very nice. Savage is carrying us. But yeah, looks like Savage will be, actually, I should go say congrats to him. Let's see. Also, let's see. Also, congrats, Savage, for being Paragon for next Guild War with highest your score, this week. Where's your little treasure chest thing? Boom. There we go. Anyways. Also, I'm not even Global 1. Let me go change that. Keeps kicking me out of Global 1. Bring me back. There we go. I'm just going to be setting it back off as soon as I'm not sure why I'm putting it back. As soon as I record Monday's video, I'm going to be disconnecting it from Global once again. But anyways, that's that. Let's go and get around some of our dailies. Also, as far as Leaderboard, as I kind of expected, a lot more people ended up doing the Leaderboard over the course of the weekend. And due to that, we cannot make top 50 anymore. Even if we did every battle we currently have, we will not make top 50. So I'm probably just not even going to do the rest of my battles, as there is no point. We'll make top 100, and that's good. However, our battles will have no effect on us going any kind of position that would give us any better reward. So all we get is 75 gems and orb, but still better than nothing. Hopefully that orb will be a blue. But yeah, we spent 2,850 towards the event. Though of course the main reason being to level up our monk hero class, which we still need to go level. Speaking of that, let's go set monk as our daily, or for our dailies, so that we can gain some additional EXP. We're still trying to get EXP on this thing. Definitely get at least to level 80 by the end of stream, which is only a level away. Also, we'll hand out a code once we reach level 80 on it too. Might as well do it based on that. Might as well. Hello, ssaszix. Welcome. Let's see. What medals do I have activated? I end up using 20% mana start with 16 HP. 16 HP is to help not die, as well as for Yagway boost ratio. And 20% mana start was to help give everything mana that didn't already have mana. I think the only thing that had starting mana was our hero? No, not our hero. Ragnagord. Ragnagord 50% was the only thing that naturally had any amount of mana start, whereas we gave the other three a 20% start. Also, hey, we got a pet. Nice. We'll need to go do that. Forget if I have that one maxed or not yet. Also, hello, Maxwell. Speaking about Max. Let's see. Yeah, farming metals is still good to do, though, compared to farming stats. Because in the long term, farming metals will be pretty helpful. But it is eventually good to go and try getting 10-star All Kingdom. But that's a really, really long process that you can't necessarily go out every way to really farm too much. Is there a different weapon to use in this team? What team? Oh, yeah, for the Dawnbringer one. In that particular instance, I do not believe there's actually a replacement for Dawnbringer. I guess you could go more down like a... replace out Ragnagord and maybe go Mang in first slot or something like that. And go from like more of a Titan-like hero class that can gain barrier on Brown. But I'm not sure if there's really much of a replacement. One of the biggest issues that Guild War Red Day has is it doesn't have a lot of tankiness. So if you're not using Dawnbringer, you're going to want to use your hero with barrier on Brown in first slot, as you need some kind of tank option, as Reds really, really lack proper tanks. There are a few here and there, like Obsidious, like that one Red Mythic that has that high skill reduction and spell reduction. But very, very few Reds have high durability. Less so than any typing in the game. So you don't tend to have as many good tanks to be able to use for today. Let's see. It disconnects from global for quarantine reason. That's funny. That is really funny. Also, hello, ssaszix. You skipped the class event to top PvP leaderboard. Very, very nice. Did you actually make #1? I know you were earlier. Let me go double check. That's a pretty nice achievement. If you're able to do that the entire time. But that's why I mentioned earlier. It's really hard to do 2 leaderboards simultaneously. Possibly even impossible. But focusing on one is definitely manageable. Still hard to do, though, of course. But yeah, nice. Congrats. Wow, almost 200,000, too. Might as well go all the way to 200,000. You're so close. But yeah, gosh, that is really high. Anything above 100,000 is extremely, extremely high. But congratulations. Also, leaderboard, the amount you need to get on, it just keeps going higher and higher. I remember it used to be like 33,000 not too long ago. Now it's already like inching up to 36,000. Soon it's going to be like 40,000 to make leaderboard. And the top keeps moving up too. I remember when it used to be like barely, like a little under 100,000. Now it's like getting up to double of that for first place. But very nice. That's a lot of battles too. Gosh, almost 4,000 battles. Obviously, I don't do PvP too much these days. I have gone for first place before on leaderboard though. But it's been like, what, 4 years almost? It's been so long since I've gone for leaderboard on PvP that I made this guild when I did it. And we can actually tell the last time we went for it. The last time we tried for first place on PvP leaderboard was exactly the week of 1,340 days ago. That is how long it has been since I have bothered doing rank 1 PvP leaderboard. Obviously, it has been a very, very, very exceedingly long time. Yeah, I don't even gain 4K trophies in a week, let alone 4,000 battles in PvP, which might be 2 or 3 trophy battles. Because if you're gaining a lot of rating, you're generally doing the 2 and 3s rather than the 1s. Oh, so my household's starting to run low on water. That is problematic. I need to start boiling water and making tea soon from the tap. I hate tap water so much. But obviously, if you need to survive We shall have to deal with it. I still don't have one of those purifier things for the faucet though. Are those even worth it? I might need to pick one up off of Amazon. Because I believe we're running out of water in probably about 4 or 5 days. Unless more places around us get water soon. Let's see. We'll take that over. Get a Remain down. How's my day been? It's been going pretty well so far. Are the multicolored weapons any good? What do you mean by multicolored? Like the dual color ones? Dual color ones definitely are. The only triple color weapon that exists is Dawnbringer. And it's pretty decent. If you're talking about the 6 color one, there's only 2. And very rarely are they used, mostly because they can block a lot of mana if they end up getting moved forward. Like with repositioning troops. They also have a rather lackluster ability. Because they take so many manas. Yeah, quite a few dual-colored weapons, if that's what you're referring to, can be pretty viable. This depends specifically on the weapon. Also, let me change over to magic for 2 reasons. One is for the... oh, that's not what I wanted. One is for the dungeons real quick. But the other reason I want to have it is for the pet, which we're going to go do as soon as we finish out dungeons. And also, it's Diamond Day, so definitely make sure to go throw those 50 gems for the pack today. Underneath dungeons, really great value. Highly advise always doing it every Sunday, because it has really good values on Sundays. Okay, I was going to say, I didn't think I overwrite it yet. Here we go. I'll probably overwrite it tomorrow, but let's go do this one. Let's see, we'll go for that. Oh yeah, I wasn't going to get a picture filter. I was going to get one specifically for the thing itself. The faucet itself. Oh yeah, the 505 thing came with the update. We already got it done. Actually, I got all the achievements done for the most recent one because the seasons one was glitched, so we were able to get the seasons equipped without even having the seasons equipped. It happened when I had a Cedric equipped. Have you done all the challenges to max tier yet? No, mostly because there's no incentive to do so. I will probably eventually. However, most of the loot that they give I don't necessarily need. But forever short on something, we'll probably go do them all. But it's not really a high priority of mine at the moment. But if you need any specific resource off any of the tiers, it might be worth considering. For example, the most useful one that we'd probably want at this current moment in time, and I might do if we get somewhat close, is the epic ingots. I believe there's a guaranteed 3 epic ingot on tier 7, somewhere around there, that we can end up getting. And if we do that per kingdom, I think it's like 100 something epic ingots that we can get that we don't currently have. So that can help close our gap, given that we only need like about 400 more or so. But obviously that won't completely close the gap right now, but it would help do so. But anyways, make sure to always throw 50 gems for this pack on Sunday. Only on Sunday is it worth it. However, you could theoretically go for it every day if you really want to focus on mythics. You'd be converting your gems for 2.5 gems per diamond if you did on any other day other than Sunday. However, on Sunday, you get more than 1 diamond per gem, which is insanely good value. On top of the fact you get 2 gem keys, a Celestial, and a few other resources like a small mouse shard, which is basically 4 diamonds, so like 84, not even just 80. And 500 souls, which you could use to go craft those shards into diamonds. I mean, yeah, shards into diamonds. But anyways, there we go. Always worth going for that every Sunday. Anyways, let's go do pet battles then. And go from there. I believe we still need copies of this thing. No, we do not, actually, but I still need the food nonetheless, so we'll go to do that. Obviously, we'll change the hero class now that we got Stormcaller maxed. We'll change it over to Monk, which we're still trying to get maxed. We'll have 80 definitely by today, and hopefully 100 by end of next weekend. Though not in a gigantic rush for it, as long as we get it done by next Guild War. But we might be using it for some other things other than that. It's a rather interesting troop. I feel like in most situations I'll still be using Titan, but I still absolutely love the Monk hero class. Yeah, most weapons that use more than 2 colors are, they're very situational. Like, Prismatic Orb you only really use with, like, Rowan teams, where you're specifically wanting to cover every color for mana accumulation reasons. The Prismatic Shard you almost never use, just because it's really low damage for how much mana it costs, and it can block your mana pretty heavily. And Dawnbringer is pretty situational, even though it's a mythic weapon, and the only mythic weapon technically in the game. The biggest issue that it has is there aren't too many instances you would really bring it out. It doesn't really have any board control. It has a nice AoE, that's okay. Damage-wise, it's like pretty average in that regard. And it's also has 4 times barrier, which is probably its most noteworthy feature, is the 4 times barrier. But aside from that, it's very situational where you get value from it. The biggest value you would ever get from it is not pet battles, is class battles. Class battles tend to have the best value for it, and the main reason for that is pretty much every mechanic it has is pretty decent. A decent AoE is good for that game mode, as well as the fact that barrier makes sure that you never get a death, ideally, which makes sure that you don't accidentally lose a few points for when you're going for leaderboard or anything like that for that game mode. So for that kind of purpose, it's okay, and it can find its way into Guild Wars occasionally, because barrier, of course, helps with preserving Guild Wars score. But yeah, it doesn't get to use too often. Like, you don't see me using it like a whole lot. Obviously, you'll see me use it on occasion, like we just used it for Red Guild War today. But it doesn't come out too often, relative to how expensive it is. Like, we probably use Zugoff more than we use Dawnbringer. Though, of course, Dawnbringer is way easier to obtain than Zugoff. Nice. Full mana off that Cascade. I'll take it. Is it worth crafting Flamer? Yes and no. It's mostly only used for Yagwe Queen Titania team. However, it is the most meta weapon to use in Yagwe Queen Titania team. You saw us face it a couple times today. And it was actually, I believe, the team that ended up defeating us today, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was a standard Yagwe Queen Titania team with Flamer. I don't think there was anything different with it. But, yeah, I believe that was the team that knocked us out today in Guild Wars. Like, it has a lot of potential. Urskeo Crown's close enough that, I don't know, it's not high priority to get it. But, if you're planning on using Yagwe Queen Titania a lot, which is still meta in the current state of the game, it is worth considering, as the strongest possible option is Flamer, even though Urskeo Crown is very similar. But it's not the same. But do keep in mind, Ur's Fury is available next week. So if you're low on diamonds or reds, you might want to consider getting Ur's Fury instead. Because Ur's Fury is... I don't feel like I use Ur's Fury nearly as much as Flamer, though. Like, Flamer I bring out for every Guild War, as well as whenever I bring out Yagwe Queen Titania team. Ur's Fury is very, very situational. However, in those situations, it's the best weapon in the game. So, I don't know. It depends how you weigh it. Because Ur's Fury has a few things going for it. It's the best invasion weapon in the game, because the boost ratio for it basically has 1.66 effectiveness relative to Mang. So that's a really, really great value, assuming that you're using it on a 5 times multiplier invasion troop. It'll have 1.66 the value of Mang. But the other reason is because it's the highest attacking weapon in the game for upscaling. So if you go and hit someone that has, what's his boost ratio, 1 to 3? I believe it's 1 to 3. Yeah, it is 1 to 3. So let's say someone has 300 armor. You just gave your entire team 120-something attack. That is a really, really hefty amount of attack to give your entire team. What do we grab here? We'll take a skull for now. Oh, never mind. It just gives attack based on boost ratio. I forget what its base value is, but regardless, in that situation, it still would have been at least 100 to each ally, nonetheless. It's pretty good with Iron Gut, too. I personally don't like using it with Iron Gut, but some people do like using it with Iron Gut. And Ur's Fury is a great way to get Iron Gut to 100% Devour rate. Because you can normally cast Ur's Fury once to get Iron Gut to 100. Oh yeah, we're going to be doing a full video tomorrow going over the new event. It's a little bit hard to go over it now, and the main reason for that is, well, it's not out yet, and it changes every single time. And while we have gotten some amount of preview of this one, do be mindful that we will have basically no preview of any future one that's going to be coming up. so we wouldn't really know anything about it. Like this one we do know a little bit about that's happening tomorrow, but every future one that's going to be happening, we won't really know much about it until the day it happens. So do be mindful of that. So it's going to be hard to explain until it actually happens. Similar to something like Soulforge. Like I have no way of really explaining too much about Soulforge next week, other than the fact that Earth's Fury will be here and is good. But like as far as troops, like I can't really go over this prior until it's actually Monday. Similar to how I can't really go over the game mode until it's actually Monday, mostly because we don't really know all the info until the Monday actually hits. Well, I might be able to make some speculation and approximations and stuff. It's we won't really definitively know until the event hits in 7 hours. Very soon, TM. Man, anyways, so that's out. That's out. Let's go get our monk level, and as I mentioned, we'll hand out a redeem code once we do. Where's our armor? Set to pure armor. Let's go to Zacian, and let's keep tearing things apart. And we should be about halfway, if not further. Oops, that's not the team I want. Let me move this back to top. Oh, we'll do it later. But let me see. Let's go and how much more XP do we need? 35. So we'll hand out a code at 35 more XP then, and go from there. You did all your monk battles with 3 times Yagway with Flamerfur? Yeah, that would work too. Yagway definitely the better option as far as things that you had to use for the event week, that's for sure. For the monk class event. You would like to know how many gems to expect to use. They have yet to finalize what the cost will be for the event, so we don't currently know. If you're looking to get 2 medals of seasons immediately, it will probably cost somewhere around 1,000 to 1,500 gems. However, the cost to get 3 medals of seasons immediately, and instead of having to wait another month, is going to be ultra expensive. We don't know what the packs will be costing because they mentioned that they didn't finalize the costs. So we have no way of knowing. Even though we knew it was going to be 500 gems, there's a possibility it might be 200 gems, or it might have more amount of medals or tokens that you end up getting from mass buying the final pack. But based on current pricing, it seems like it's going to be over 6,000 gems, if not more, to get a Medal of Seasons, 3 Medal of Seasons. But to get 2 Medal of Seasons, it looks like it's going to cost about 1,000 to 1,500. You're basically going to need to buy all the way to tier 6 and then do the entirety of the event with your guild. Will end up giving you potentially 2 full Medals of Seasons. But we don't know exactly. They have yet to finalize the rewards nor the pricing when they end up showing it to us in the beta as well as publicly. So we don't know until tomorrow what the pricing and payout of the event will actually be. But as of tomorrow, every single subsequent event, monthly event related to this, should have the exact same cost and the exact same payout. The layout of the event might change as far as what our objective is, but the cost of it as well as the payout of it should remain consistent across all of them. There might be a few tweaks here and there, but their general theme as far as how many tokens you get and everything should be the same as we know of it as of tomorrow. So as of tomorrow, we'll be able to make that a prediction into the future, but until then, we don't really know definitively. But based on current costs, it looks like it was going to be around 1,000, 1,500 for 2 seasons. I would not advise going for a 3rd season. Just use 20% mana start with 2 seasons until we get another event in a month. Just because it's probably going to be way too pricey for most people to buy another seasons, especially if they leave the pack as 500 for 1, which is what it was before, rather than 200 for 1, which is what I wish they would do, but they might keep it at 500 for 1. But we'll know soon. We'll know very soon. But until then, we just don't really know for sure. But of course, I'll make much mention of it tomorrow, among everything else with the game mode. Because, of course, one of the most relevant things that's actually happening, not necessarily tomorrow even, but the following week, is we'll finally have access to Seasons, which is arguably the best medal in the entire game. It gives 4 attack, 4 armor, and 4 HP, which is a really hefty amount of stats. It has 12 stats, whereas any medal prior had only 8 stats. And it also spreads it nice and evenly, making it a great token to set for Guild War Defend, because it covers all your ground, basically. It covers durability, and it covers skull offense, which are all things that you would help out your AI team a lot. Because durability would help them not die, and attack would make it so they don't get skull distracted. Or if they do get skull distracted, they get better impact for being just skull distracted, assuming they're not entangled. Yeah, it's going to be really popular to set 2 seasons and 3 seasons for Guild War Defense for whenever you log out. Just because you can use it both offensively when you're playing and also defensively when your defend team is doing its thing. And it just covers all pretty much all the ground you would need for any team. Ends up working out pretty nice. Oh yeah, we did get a Mechanome. Oh yeah, what drop did we get? I wasn't paying attention. I saw we got a Mechanome. I wasn't paying attention to drop though. I can look back and stream real quick. You know you'll want to drop a 50 epic ingot on us. Let's see. What did we get from the Mechanome? Where did the Mechanome go? I know he's got one. Where does it drop? Oh, there it is. What do we get a drop from it? We got... Oh, we got 4 mythic ingots. No wonder why I didn't notice it. Gave us like the worst drop he has. There's only 3 drops I need from him. His 20 ultra rare, his 12 epic, and his 50 epic. Anything he drops that isn't those 3 is pretty much pointless to me. Oh, so we still have Leprechaun going on for a while. I believe that's lasting till either the end of Tuesday or until Tuesday. I think it's still the end of Tuesday. Because isn't St. Patrick's Day this Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken? I know, now I have like 15,004 mythic ingots, pretty much. But if anyone still has any other questions, do let me know. And as I mentioned before, we will go over more in depth on the new game mode tomorrow. I mentioned some things about it now, but till tomorrow we won't be able to like definitively go over a lot of it. And I don't want to say things that won't be true if it ends up changing. Because there are some things that's still speculation with it that we won't really know until it's fully live. Because even things in the beta related to it are likely to be changed. Even things that they showed in the preview are potentially to be changed since between then and now. Such as the pricing of the event and a few other things. Pricing and payout is probably like the 2 main ones that end up getting revamped. That we currently have really no definitive answer on until tomorrow. But hopefully it's going to be good. It seems like it's going to be a decent event overall. It's also going to be a great alternative way of obtaining tokens if you hate doing explore spam. Personally, I don't mind. I actually kind of like explore spam. It's really been growing on me the last like half a year or so. But especially since we got tokens, of course. But even prior to tokens, it was kind of growing on me. But it's pretty decent. Having another way to go gain tokens now. However, do keep in mind that most of the tokens that you would obtain through there does have a small amount of gem costs related to it. However, you can get a decent amount of tokens. We still don't know the exact payout, but I believe before it was around 9 tokens, which is enough for a full medal, without even paying anything into the event. Assuming your guild was to carry you, you could end up getting almost 1 medal just by being carried. I believe it might be exactly 1 short of a medal though, or just to make sure that people would actually buy some amount of packs. I believe it gives 8 for completing out all the rewards, rather than 9. I believe both of them are actually going to probably be 8, for the reason that they would want people to, you know, either go a little bit further into one or go for a pack in order to get the other one. I'm pretty sure both will pay out 8, if I had to guess, but that hasn't been confirmed. And if that is the case, that means you will have to buy some tier 7s in order to get 2 seasons. Otherwise, you only have enough to get 1 season. Which is probably another reason they'd most likely make it like that. To make people tempted to buy a few more packs to get 2 seasons. However, if you don't get 2 seasons, don't only get 1 season, that's not really too big a deal. Because you could always set like 1 season with 8 life and 20% mana start. Or a season with 4 magic and 20% mana start and gain 4 to all stats. Basically with 20% mana start essentially is what that would be. Or you can run a Cedric with a season with a 20% mana start. Or 2 Cedrics with a seasons. And stuff like that. There's a lot of combinations you can do with it. It's going to be a really useful token. I mean, medal. I'm not sure where I'd rank it. Right now, if I had to place rankings for the medals, oh no, they're just all situational. Like, all of them can be good. Like, probably honestly, the least effective one is probably, easily, hands down now, Arachnia. Arachnia, because now Seasons is better than it. Like, Arachnia is obviously dead last until they buff it, and even after they buff it, it's probably still going to be dead last. In priority order, I'd probably say as far as best to worst. His niches are obviously the best. Magic is really, really useful. And while it is situational, not necessarily used with every team, it's really high impact for the teams that do use it. Second best is probably 20% mana start. They end up opening a lot of ways to gain mana a little bit quicker for teams that normally wouldn't access that. Third best is probably Seasons, just because it covers all the ground. Going to be great for Guild War. Doesn't exceed at any one thing other than just giving a lot of stats. However, it's nice and well balanced and gives you a little bit of everything that you would really need, while still maintaining the full amount of durability that a 8 life or an 8 armor would give, while just distributing it among the stats. So a really nice, well balanced metal. Then it would go to armor, because it could be used for a Wayne team. Then to HP. Oddly enough, even though HP is a better stat than armor, the armor metal is actually, I would say, better than the HP metal. And the main reason for this is because Rowan. Rowan single-handedly makes the armor metals better than the HP metals, which is kind of weird given that HP is actually a better stat. But the main reason for that is just because if you're going to bother setting 24 armor or 24 HP, you're generally going to be setting 24 armor. And the reason for this is you'd be wanting to go into Rowan for her high damage output. If you didn't want to go one way or the other, you would just go Seasons, because Seasons still gives 8 durability while still giving you an attack buff. So if you didn't need specifically HP or armor, you wouldn't really even be using the HP anymore. So honestly, that might actually be even lower now. I didn't even think of it that way. But yeah, HP might be dead content now. Or not HP in general, but specifically the HP metal. And the main reason I say that is, what do we really use in the current state of the game that specifically only has an HP boost ratio and not a boost ratio to other things like Ketris, which has it to all 3? I don't really think there's anything. Sunbird's not meta anymore. Volteris hasn't really been used for ages. There really isn't an HP boost ratio troop that is used much anymore. Yeah, I guess Greed somewhat. Greed almost has enough magic these days to full gold even without the gold without the magic though. If you have every other magic stat in the game, Yagway does, but he gains more of a benefit from magic than from HP. From HP, he only gains a 3-to-1 boost ratio, so 8 HP would be less than 3 damage. Whereas if you do 4 magic, that's 4 damage. So he does gain, while he does technically use HP, he uses magic better than HP for overall damage. So even he doesn't even fully utilize it. But yeah, that is true. If you were to use anything, Yagway would gain the most amount of benefit from HP. But magic is still better, because he gains more of an overall benefit from it, as far as damage output. But normally that's the more important thing, is damage output, rather than his survivability. Though I say that, though I did run HP today, but it's mostly because I wanted survivability for the Ragnargord more so than himself. How to calculate triple cleanse metals cleanse chance? Someone made a chart for it on the forum that could probably be referenced. I forget what the exact formula is, but it's 10% 3 times. Or sorry, it's actually 10% 4 times. But basically what it is it goes in order of... there's basically 4 separate chances that occur. I forget what the math is on that, but you'd have to multiply out all the percents. But it's a 10% chance, a 10% chance, a 10% chance, and a 10% chance that accumulates per turn. So let's say it's the second turn after a Stas effect. You'll have a 20% chance roll, a 10% chance roll, a 10%, and a 10%. All four of those roll individually. Every single cleanse from the Orpheuses trigger individually, as well as the natural cleanse that you have triggers individually. So you'd have to do the math for every single one of them, and then get the percent chance for it. And I forget how to do that math, to be honest. But 3 Cedrics with 10%, I believe, was around a 26 point something % chance that you would get a cleanse on turn 1. It's decently high. Oh, also, as I mentioned, we'd hand out code once we got monk leveled, and there's a level on it. Yeah, let me see if I can go find a chart on that. It's probably mentioned on the forum as still a Cedric, so let me go find it. Because everything that mentioned in the past still names it as Cedric rather than Orpheus, because obviously it just recently got name changed. Not sure why they just didn't call it Orpheus to begin with. But let me go find it real quick. Let's see, let's go to latest. Let's go to Cedric cleanse chance. Let's see. It might be buried. A quick search did not find it. I know the data's out there somewhere. Someone made a really, really nice chart of the full breakdown for 1, 2, and 3 Cedrics. I'm trying to find the chart. I know it's out there. Does anyone have the link to it? I'm trying to find the full breakdown of Orpheus or Cedric badge. Because someone did the full breakdown for every possible option, which was really nice. Let's see. I cannot find it. Cedric. Hope it would help if I spelled the other word wrong, right? Where is it? Oh, might it be under the 4.6 patch notes? Hold up. It might be under 4.6 patch notes. After it got changed. Let's see. Where's the actual 4.6 patch notes? I found the beta version of it. Where's the official 4.6 patch notes? Fail. Why can I not find it? What? Where is the official one? There's 4.65. Where's 4.6? Fine. I'll do it the other way. I'll find it through official news and go down to 4.6. There's 4.7. Where's the official 4.6? There's 4.65. There it is, 4.6. Oh, no wonder why. It's posted by Syrian rather than Salty. That's why it threw me off. Okay, where is the Cedric drop table thing? I want to find it now. Because someone did a really nice breakdown of it. But apparently it's buried on the forum somewhere. Let's see. It is really well buried. I know it's out there, though. It'd be a lot easier just referencing it than trying to do all the maths. Because I had every possible calculation done for it correctly. Which would save a lot of time compared to doing it manually. Someone in chat probably already mentioned it. I actually can't see chat as I'm trying to find it. But yeah, I cannot find it. I'm gonna look for it more later. Unless someone has already found it already. Oh no, has anyone found it yet? Where's my chat? Wait, what did happen to my chat? Chat, where'd you go? There it is. Live dashboard. Let's see. Oh, what link did Savage just oh, there it is. Aha! Nice. Okay, that's not the forum post, but it looks like someone remade it all nice with Orpheus actually mentioned for it. Thank you for that, Savage. But yeah, Savage got us covered. Let me go link this thing or pin it. I don't think it'll pin for the entire stream if I pin it now, but just in case, here is I might as well just pin it to the thing. Here is Orpheus cleanse chance. But yeah, thank you thank you. Oh wait, who was that who posted it? Thanks a lot, Savage. Greatly appreciated. Actually, I should probably go save that file. Orpheus cleanse chance. I think I spelled Orpheus right. Let's hope that's correct. Let's just assume that it's spelled correctly. There we go. And let me pin that. Let's just pretend that's spelled correctly. But there we go. Yeah, that's the full breakdown of it. I need to go save that image later. Because I would hate to have to do all that math again. Actually, I don't think I've ever bothered doing that math in the first place. But it's nice to have it as reference. But anyways, code. Still didn't do that. Oh, that reminds me. I need to go ask Salty for more codes. because we were running low, very low. Like I need a bug herd tomorrow low, because we're actually going to run out this week. Actually, we'll run out about the same time Animal Crossing comes out, oddly enough. Also, I'm still overly hyped for that game. My hype cannot be contained. Only 3 more days to go. Thursday night it comes out. Like literally the second it comes out. I generally don't play games like the literal second it comes out. I will be for Animal Crossing. Let's see. We used that one. This should be our next one. Put that there, put that there, put that there, put that there, paste, copy, copy. But yeah, we only have enough code to last us until Friday, actually. Assuming she doesn't give us more this week. But anyways, here you guys go. Here's the redeem code. Use on gemsofwar.com with the game code section. There you guys go. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever your game says right over here is what you put in. Whatever your invite code says right over there. And bottom left corner of your settings menu. Redeem code's right over there in chat. It's copy paste random numbers and letters of the K4 and all the other ones. And it gives the same thing as always. 200 souls, 2 treasure maps, 2,500 gold, and a gem key. There you go. Enjoy. It's only usable on PC mobile version, of course. Why have you put day 6? Isn't it day 7? No. Guild Wars only lasts for 6 days. There's 1 color per day. There's nothing that happens on Monday. Unlike other events, weekly events that last for 7 days, Guild Wars technically only lasts for 6 days. Because while Monday you do get to prep for Guild Wars, it doesn't actually count as a Guild War day. It's the only weekly event that is theoretically 6 days rather than 7. Even though I guess you technically can do some prep and stuff on Monday, it doesn't actually count as a Guild War day. But we could count it, I guess, as Guild War Day 0, but still, it wouldn't really count as a day. Because there's only 6 days because there's 6 colors, 1 per color. There's not one related to skulls or anything like that, of course, because there's no troops that use skull mana. Skull mana would be, like, very overpowered, because not only would you be able to get skulls, you'd get mana for those skulls. Which was something that was actually asked of them before. However, they will obviously never do it, and they made mention of that just because it would be way too broken and hard to balance. Oh, was it from Reddit? Nice. Yeah, I haven't been using the, I don't ever use Reddit. Can't even remember the last time I've used Reddit. I never really personally understood the appeal of Reddit. Other than I guess it's like one big forum in a way. So I guess that's the main appeal of it. But, I don't know, I never really cared for Reddit that much, personally. Never really understood it much. Like, I've used it on occasions in the past, but, not much. Let's see, we'll throw that down for now. Yes, Orpheus is a mythic, but it's also a, oh, Ready. Oh, never mind, my bad. Someone is called Ready. I thought you were just, like, abbreviating Reddit. I know that there is official Gems of War Reddit, though. I think they even held a Q&A on it once before. But now they just do Q&A videos because those always go over way better than a Reddit Q&A. Because obviously not everyone uses Reddit. No, not everyone uses Twitch either, but Twitch just works better. Or, you know, stream format in general just works better. Is the new event tomorrow worth doing? Yes. The event tomorrow will be giving you Medals of Seasons. You don't get the Medals of Seasons until the following Monday. During the event itself, you get medals that end up giving you additional attack. They're either going to do additional attack, additional magic, or additional attack and magic. The one for tomorrow we do know is going to be attack. However, generally we're not going to know in advance what it's going to be. However, all those medals after a week, so not tomorrow, but 1 week from tomorrow, will be converted into seasons. So theoretically, we still have a whole nother week before we actually get seasons. Even though we're getting new medals tomorrow, those medals don't get converted into seasons until the event is over. So we still have another week until we get seasons. But every single medal that you end up getting through this event tomorrow, or then throughout the week, will be converted into seasons at the end of the week. So if you get something like I don't know, let's say 16 tokens, that'd be converted to 1 medal, 2 badges, and how many remaining tokens is that? And 1 token of seasons. What's the Animal Crossing you're talking about? Oh, it's a game that's coming out this Friday. It's basically like, it's an in-between game of something like The Sims, Stardew Valley, and Harvest Moon. Those are like the games that is most similar to. So if you've played any of those games, it's kind of like what it is. It's like Nintendo's version of that, basically. Yeah, Salty is at work now. I'll ask her tonight, just as a reminder. And I'll remind her like crazy tomorrow. Hey, haircut coming this week? I might do haircut. I would have to do it at my own place, though. I wouldn't want to go anywhere for it with coronavirus. Probably just going to shave it all off. Be the easiest way of doing it. Shave off the beard, shave off the head. Get rid of all the hair. Is it good? What is it good? Oh, Animal Crossing? Yeah, it's pretty fun. I personally love the game. It's really niche, though. Like, it's definitely not for everyone. But it's really chill. It's probably, like, one of the chillest games ever created. Like, the whole series of it. But I've only ever played the first one. But the first one was really solid. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, too. But I haven't played an Animal Crossing game for like 15 years. It's been ages upon ages. But I do recall the first one being amazing. And I have played similar games in the genre like Sims, Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley. Most recently Stardew Valley. We even streamed on the channel like a year and a half ago or so when we did it. Pretty fun game. Yeah, Harvest Moon games were pretty good. Kind of sad that they don't really get made anymore. You just hit 200,000 PvP points. Very, very nice. Congrats, ssaszix. Very nice milestone. It looks like you're going to get a solid first place as well. You're like a 20,000 lead on second right now. There's still some hours left. Oh, has he been hunting for 3 times fire bombs? That would make sense. There's probably still a couple other battles you could take too, but 3 times fire bombs are one of the easier ones. Yeah, didn't they make it more into an RPG? Like the people that used to make Harvest Moon? And by RPG, I mean more like, didn't they add combat to the more recent games, if I'm not mistaken? Almost like a Stardew Valley route, but more RPG-like. Or am I thinking of a Rune Factory? Both of which I haven't played. I can't recall if it did or it didn't. Oh no, that's Rune Factory. Oh, yeah, I was confusing it with Rune Factory then. Yeah, I haven't actually played either, which is why. Do you think I'll shave my eyebrows off too? No. Definitely not. Rune Factory, RuneScape is better. I know. I have so much time in RuneScape, it is absurd. I don't play it currently. I've like started and quitted RuneScape probably like 5 or 6 times. Or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be going back at this point though. Though I say that almost always, and then I eventually am like, let's start RuneScape again. But we'll see. They killed my favorite build in the game, though. It's still somewhat usable, but it's not the same that it used to be, which is Defense Pures. The absolute peak of Defense Pures was when summoning was first added to RuneScape. Like when it was initially added to the game. Like literally when it started. Like that first half a year to a year. That was like the golden age of RuneScape right there. For when I absolutely loved the game the most. Particularly the stealing creations minigame. Like I could play the game literally just for stealing creations back in like 2009, 2010 or whenever that was. Like the state of the game at that time was so much fun. And then it was slowly went on a downwards decline for like a decade. I've maxed an account before on RuneScape. I don't think I'd want to do it again, though. It is very time consuming. I even did every single quest, which is something I thought I would never bother doing for the game, but I did do that once. Some rather interesting quests in the game, to say the least. I think the penguin one was one of the funnier ones. That and Dragon Slayer 2 is actually pretty cool, which is one of the most recent quests at the time, when I ended up leaving. The most recent time. Hey, an Orpheus. There we go. Yes, I've done 99 rune crafting 3 times in RuneScape. However, 99 rune crafting isn't too bad in old school RuneScape right now. The XP rate's rather low still. But crafting bloods is really AFK. Like, you basically just click a few times, and you get to craft, like, a bunch of bloods and get EXP for it. Like, you would only need to craft, or you would only need to click, like, I believe it's about 10 times every 10 minutes, basically, I think, or somewhere around there. Like, it's pretty AFK, but I have done it 3 times before. I actually don't mind it that much. The power grinding methods are quite a bit quicker, though I generally do the AFK methods in almost every way in RuneScape. Just because you can kind of use it as a background, kind of like an idle game, which is generally how I play RuneScape. I do meta methods sometimes, but rune crafting is definitely something I would not do meta for. Just because it's probably like the most toxic thing in the entire game. The meta, at least in old school RuneScape, unless it's changed since then, there's 2 metas. One is the most frustrating minigame in the entire game, where you basically have to go and spam drop books, find a bunch of them, use a website to go figure out their locations, and basically just book trade to go gain rune crafting XP. And that's a pretty decent rate. I think it does like 80,000 per hour. But it is the most frustrating thing in the entire game to do. So I wouldn't really advise it. But there's that. And the other method is crafting lavas, which requires extremely high actions per minute. And is generally really annoying to do as well. However, I did do it for several hours. Like tens of dozens of hours. Just because it was really great XP. And I think that's the method most people go for, is crafting lavas in old school. Unless it's changed since then. Because the book method is just way too frustrating for most people to bother. Unless they've nerfed the book method. Because it's quite a bit higher than any other method. And technically isn't rune crafting. You're just basically trading in books for XP. It's a really weird method. Oh, does RuneLite have a thing for the books? Has that method have gotten more meta? I know around the time when I was left, it was starting to kind of get traction. I used it for a couple levels, but I didn't use it much just because it was really annoying to do. Because you also use some amount of hunting, because you have to send the books to your bank. And the only way to do that was with the imp box, which you have to hunt for. And I always found it pretty inconsistent to do the hunting method. Especially on the defense pure, because you couldn't actually kill the imps to reset them with a bow, which is how you would normally do it. But anyways. RuneScape tangent. I do know most of the meta for RuneScape, though. Obviously, if anything changed over the last, like, 2 years, I don't know that. But I've generally been on top of it in the past. But anyways, guys, does anyone else... Oh, that also reminds me. We're going to be playing Animal Crossing extremely meta as well. I've been doing some research on it because I haven't played the game in so long. And I was a kid when I last played it. So I need to go do some research on all the in-depth mechanics. And I think I'm ready. I'm ready to go meta grind the Animal Crossing. A game that you're supposed to play casually. That I'll be playing as if it's like a hardcore grinding game. Because that's how I play. That is my play style. 100% completionist. And then we'll have fun later. But completionist is fun. Like, the fact they added Nook Miles in Animal Crossing is, like, going to be my addiction. Because I will just, like, want to grind out every single possible one. To no end. Oh, sorry, what was your question, Chad? You just got War Cleric. Is that troop any good? No, I do not believe so. I forget what War Cleric actually is. And generally, if I forget what it is normally bad. That's not always the case, but more often, if I don't know what it is, it's not meta. Because there's so many troops in the game, I tend to only in-depthly remember the good ones. Where is it? Why is it not coming up? Let's see. What is that troop? Let's see. War Cleric. No, War Cleric is one of the most useless troops in the game. You would never use it for anything. But no, War Cleric is very, very, very underwhelming. I remember who that is now. But yeah, you would never use War Cleric. It's under the 100% dead content category for troops in this game. Ones that you would never use under any circumstance forever. What level is my monk right now? 80, which is why we handed out code. I don't think we're going to be going for 81 right now, but still getting a little bit more XP if nothing else. Probably going to be wrapping up for tonight actually soon. I want to get to bed and cover the video in the morning. Because I'm starting to get a little tired, so I don't think I'm going to stay up to record it. So I'll probably get the video up around noon or so, hopefully. I'll wake up around, I'm not even sure what time. I might just go to bed, wake up whenever, and then do the video. First thing when I wake up. When's your next stream? Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We stream every single night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every single night. Which is an hour and a half prior to now tomorrow, if you don't know what that is in your time zone. But whatever 90 minutes prior to now is in your time zone is when we stream every single day. We normally stream for about an hour or two. Depends what we have to go over or grind. Tomorrow night will probably be a little bit longer. Well, actually, not so much so, because I forgot Salty streams at 9:30, which is this time on tomorrow. But yeah, we'll probably stream up to this time tomorrow, because I don't want to cut into our stream. But of course, we'll have a lot to go over with the new class event, of which we'll be doing quite a bit of it tomorrow night. Of course, we'll be going over in the video prior, but of course, we'll still be going over on stream too. Sorry, what was the other question? A couple people asked a question I missed. I answered that one. Good evening, Dawn. Welcome. Let's see. How are you doing? You're late. Did you not get the notification? Yeah, it's kind of weird. YouTube does not like sending the notification sometimes. But I've been doing pretty good. Been pretty hyped for Animal Crossing coming out this Friday. And other than that, pretty hyped for the new event coming tomorrow for Gems of War, which we'll be going over tomorrow as well. Nice to get a different change of pace. Is farming overall going to be difficult with this new patch? No. This most recent patch didn't really change farming at all. If anything, it made it easier, because now it makes it easier to get tokens. Because now there's a way to get tokens other than Explore, which is kind of nice for most people, because not everyone likes spamming Explore like me. But there is now another method that is completely unrelated to Explore that you can get medals from. So now we have two other methods other than Explore where you can get medals. A small amount from Guild. If you're in a guild that's doing a lot of tasks, you'll get some from one of those trees. And the other way is through this new monthly event. And once a month, you'll be able to get some epic medals via this event. Unfortunately, it doesn't give any other rarities. It also doesn't give any copies of other medals. So if you don't have things like an Anu yet, or if you don't have Nishas, you still need to go out of your way to go grind those. However, you can get Arachnias from this game mode. If nothing, or it's not Arachnias, but epic rarity trait stones from this game mode. specifically seasons, because they all convert to seasons. Oh, you have to work from 7 to 3 at a grocery store? Aw, that's unfortunate. Yeah, those must be somewhat packed still, too. Like, that's probably one of the few businesses that is still getting business in the current economy right now with the coronavirus. But yeah, hopefully you don't get sick. Stay safe. Let's see. We'll grab that for now. Because out of every single business that's still running right now, I feel like grocery stores would be the most packed. Just because obviously people would still need food. And even if they're somewhat sold out, there'd still be some amount of food. That's not that bad then. Okay. That's good then. How does the Guild Wars ladder work for bracket 14? If you make first place, you move up 2. If you make second or third, you move up 1. If you make dead last, you move down 2. And if you make second to last or third to last, you move down 1. So if you fall in any of those categories, you will move. If you fall anywhere from 4th to 7th, you would not move at all. But yeah, that's how it works for that bracket. That's how most brackets work. Is first moves up 2, second moves up 1, third moves up 1, 4 to 7th stays, 8th moves down 1, 9th moves down 1, and 10th moves down 2. Most of brackets work that way. The very low ones move by multiple, and the very top ones move slightly differently. But aside from that, most brackets will move like what I just mentioned. But anyways, let's go get this last little leprechaun. We still have all day tomorrow to go farm for them too. I believe all day on Tuesday too, given that St. Patrick's Day. It says it goes till the 17th. I'm not sure if that means until the end of the 17th or till or what exactly. But I would assume till the end, because isn't it 17th St. Patrick's Day, I'm pretty sure. So it makes sense that it goes to the end of it. Anyways, guys, any other questions? Sorry. What was your question, Lampard? My bad. What other question did I miss? But if anyone still has any other questions I missed, leave them right now, and I'll get to them. Let's see. On your second account, you want to try some of the mythics you haven't used before. Don't want to craft Infernus, Wild Queen. Which of these is more useful mid-level? Tina, Scorpius, Megavore, Grey King, Yasmin. What are you planning on using it for? Scorpius is still meta for Explorer 12. So if you want to run that with Web Spinner or Shadow Dragon, you can do that. Megavore is pretty inconsistent and probably wouldn't go for it. Grey King can be okay as a hard counter, though I personally don't care for its style, but some people really like it. Tina's decent for damage output and is still the best 50% spell reduction in the game. But I would assume Scorpius is still the best way to go, especially since you might not necessarily have a Explorer 12 option. I'm not sure if you'd want to grind Explorer 12, though, but especially since that's pretty much the only thing Scorpius does, you wouldn't really use him in much other locations. But it is worth considering, since metals are still, of course, pretty valuable, especially getting all the useful metals, like if you don't have an Anu yet on it, or if you don't have some Nishas done, or if you don't even have some of the other ones, like 3 Cedrics yet or stuff on it yet. But, I don't know, I'd probably consider going to Scorpius if I was to go with a priority order based on those 5, I'd probably say Scorpius is the highest, then Tina is second, Grey King is third, Megavore is fourth, and Yasmin's pretty underwhelming in the current state of the game. Mostly because Wild Queen is always used instead of Yasmin in the current state of the game. Not always, but like 95% of team compositions use Wild Queen rather than Yasmin. Possibly even a higher percent than that. It's very rare that you'd use Yasmin because they share the same colors and do both create green. But Wild Queen is just overall way better with what she does compared to Yasmin. So you don't tend to need Yasmin until you want to upgrade Forest of Thorns. What medals will you use for today? What do you mean? For the Guild Wars team I did today, I did it with 20% mana start and 16 life. There's quite a few compositions that can be used. And as of a week from today, or I should say a week from tomorrow, we will have seasons as an option too. So that's really going to open up what we can do with medals, as seasons covers a very, very wide range of effects that you can do. Also, if you don't currently have too many medals because you hate running Explore, it's going to be a good way to gain some medals that you might not already have. Or, well, obviously that you don't already have, but you know, you don't only get seasons from it. But you can pretty much run just with seasons. Like, if the only medals you had were a bunch of seasons and literally no other medal, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Like, obviously you would want to have other medals on reserve because there are situations where you'd run it. But just running seasons for literally every single battle covers pretty much all your ground. You have your attack gain, you have your HP gain, you have your armor gain, even that you could use for a Wayne, even though it's half as effective as just running the pure armor. But still, it covers a very, very wide range that you wouldn't really ever need to trade out of. It's almost like the Titan of medals in a way. Really solid medal that's just really well-rounded. That might not be optimal for everything, but it's great overall. Yeah, the Seasons medal that's coming in a week from now is pretty much just the Titan of medals, basically. Is the easiest way of describing it. It's pretty solid. But anyways, any other questions, anyone? Let's see. Yeah, generally your Guild War teams will get a really high lose rate. And the main reason for this is win rate in general is pretty high in the game. Like, if you compare what we just did in our bracket, we only lost 3 times in 30 battles, which means I only lost, what, 10% of my battles, which is about what Guild War comes out to anyways. Guild War, generally speaking, your defend team will only get about a 10% win rate. And the main reason for that is most people have around a 90% win rate in higher brackets. We actually got exactly 90% win rate, oddly enough, today. Or this week, I mean. So, kind of funny. But, yeah, on average, I feel like people do get around 90% win rate in Guild Wars. Obviously, some people get lower, some people get higher. But I believe the average in late game is about 90% win rate, which is why losses are so high. So if you, like one of our teams like today, when we got 2-5, I actually consider that high, because within 7 battles, we got 2 wins. Even 1 win within 7 battles, I would consider high. So like pretty much every single day where we got a win, I count as a successful day. Because anything above a 10% win rate is technically high for a Guild War defend team, just because of general win rate for it. So don't feel too bad if your defend teams always do bad in Guild Wars, because if they're gaining any amount of wins, they're probably doing fine. Didn't win a single battle. It can happen sometimes. You have to keep in mind it is based on stats as well, and it can also be based on pure luck. Like, for example, our Yagway Queen Titania did 0 wins this week. However, other weeks it can get like 3-4 wins. So it does happen. It just kind of depends on luck. Like, as you saw, we just died to pure luck. Or not necessarily to pure luck. We could have mitigated it slightly. But ultimately, we did die to a rather lucky double Yagway cast on that Yagway team. And just sometimes it doesn't get lucky. Sometimes it does. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. I hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll be back soon, TM, to go over the patch. Or not the patch, but well, I guess technically the patch. The new game mode that came through the patch. That's coming out tomorrow. Our first ever new event for the new system, which I'm probably just going to call the lore event. Or the world lore event. I'm not sure. I'll probably just call it lore event. But yeah, I need to go make a thumbnail and everything for that too. That we'll keep using for all of them. But yeah, we'll be having that event coming in tomorrow. And we'll go over that in a video. Go stream it tomorrow night at the normal time that we always do, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hour and a half prior to now tomorrow. And we'll go from there. But anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will catch you guys very, very soon. And we'll go over everything with the new event system. And have a bunch of fun with that tomorrow night. Anyways, guys, catch you later. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave a like on the stream. It helps out a lot. And I will catch all of you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.